I appreciate that this bill came up with a package of policies that lead our children into graduation or to the next step. And I think it's really important to note we've had a lot of conversations about kids leaving the public school sector. And I want to bring up, and maybe this is about this policy at hand and as we move forward, I don't think they're going anywhere, Madam Speaker. We've talked about homeschooling, private schooling. Kids have lost hope, Madam Speaker. They've lost hope in the system. They lost hope on what the education system is providing them. And so, Madam Speaker, I present an apprenticeship bill that personally, I and many other stakeholders and many people have come together across the state of Washington, whether you're urban or rural, and have worked on this bill over 2 biennium, Madam Speaker. But why it's so important now? This isn't a workforce bill. This isn't an education bill. This is a hope bill, Madam Speaker. Because I know, and I have kids in public schools, and I help volunteer in the public schools, that they don't know where to go. And they don't know what skills that they possess in themselves. They don't know what they can be. They don't know what sparks their joy. They're given the worksheets. They're seeing the testing. And in case they didn't know what COVID did to their testing scores, Madam Speaker, you can turn on the news. They are failing. And a whole generation is waking up every day, going to school, and feeling like failures, Madam Speaker. We do not want the next generation to not know what they're great at, to not find that spark inside of them that say, today and tomorrow I am going to get up and it excites me and I'm going to do something great and I'm going to be able to provide for my family. And I am going to be great at this thing. We have a whole generation that hasn't found the spark. And we've talked about funding, Madam Speaker. We've talked about everything from salaries and what to do and buildings falling down. By the way, buildings are falling down. And yet, when you talk to the kids in the seats at the table, they don't know what they're going to do. Madam Speaker, less than 50% of kids in the state of Washington go to a 4-year university after high school. That means half our kids look around and say, well, what am I going to do? What was the point of working so hard? Because, Madam Speaker, we think it's hard here, and it is rough. We just had to pass a hazing bill, Madam Speaker. We talk about bullying and everything else here. We talk about mental health. Mental health is that spark inside of you where you bring value to society and community, Madam Speaker. That is where we find our mental health. We talk about running START for college. We are excited about college, and those are our future doctors that keep us alive. And when we get older, we rely on that generation. But now it's time for running START for the trades. Running START for the trades. Let's talk about the value of the work that this next generation will do in that position. And so this bill brings that aspect to 50% of the students in the state of Washington that want that ability, but they haven't gotten that spark, Madam Speaker, that spark inside of them. So this policy right now lets that other group hands-on, look at it, see what's needed. The curriculum has been established. This is an easy process to move forward. And we need to make sure that those dwindling numbers in education isn't from lost hope and constant failure, but we present to them a value that every day they get up and they go to school and they fight the battles, the unseen battles that we very, very smallly touch here, whether that's hazing and bullying and all the issues that they have to deal with their mental health, that they have something to reach for. And that is given to them throughout their life. Our communities need it, our families need it, but more importantly, that next generation who will be sitting in these chairs need to have that. So, Madam Speaker, after 2 biennium of hard work, bipartisanship, and I would give a shout out to all the numbers, but it is a well bipartisan supported policy. You know, some days we get frustrated on the floor and we get frustrated at this job, Madam Speaker. And it is my husband that reminds me, if you can do what you were sent to Olympia to do, it is for the children. Every time I get frustrated, he says it's for the children. And that is it. That is all you focus on, the children, that they have a better life than we did. And I think that is where we need to start our conversation, that this bill gives them that life. It may not be better, but we're going to start on that path to make sure they do, that they have a better education than we did, they have more opportunities than we did, and they're going to have a better future in the workforce than we did. I commend this bill to you, Madam Speaker.